Hey guys, this is No Solution. I'm Scott, and got a few things in this video. I'm trying to keep them around 10, so I'm not sure what I'm going to get to, but let's just get started. First, I wanted to get in on the alphabet thread for Jacob. He's on E right now, so I got a few things here. First one I picked out was Exhumed, the Platters of Splatter compilation. There's a 2-disc version of this. And then this is the 3-disc version with a bonus disc. So this contains all their demos, splits, and stuff up through, I believe, up through Slaughter Cult. So kind of all through the 90s, up through the 2000, 2001, something like that. And then the bonus disc is some unreleased stuff, some stuff from sessions that they didn't release. And the highlight is the last track is them doing Material Girl, the Madonna song. I believe at a karaoke booth. It is freaking hilarious. If you haven't heard it, check it out. But yeah, if you're into Exhumed, you're into grindcore, I'm sure you know Exhumed, but this is a great collection. I'm not a big grindcore guy, but this hits the spot for me. So Exhumed, Platters of Splatter. I don't know if you can get the 3-disc still, but the 2-disc I think is still out there. Right, and I picked out some from one of my favorite bands, one of the bands I first got into when I got into death metal. So the band is Edge of Sanity from Sweden. So I picked Infernal just because how weird it is and it kind of what it led to. This came out in early '97, and the band was kind of divided at this point. It was basically Dan Swano doing his own songs on this, doing everything except drums. And then the other songs were the rest of the band, led by Andreas Axelsson, the guitarist. And Dan sung on some of those songs and some that Andreas sang on also. But it's basically like a split album within the same band. It's kind of weird. And the songs really don't go together. It's kind of a mess. But Dan wanted to go one way and Andreas wanted to go another way, and this is the album that resulted. Then later in 1997, this came out, Cryptic. This, Dan has either left or was fired. They hired a new singer, Robert Carlson, I believe his name is. He's in Scar Symmetry now. This is actually just a CDR. I do not have the real version of this. I would get it if I saw it for a decent price, but it's not that great. It's just kind of a placeholder in the collection, honestly. Yeah. To me, Dan Swano was the magic of this band, and without him, it's kind of not worth pursuing. But then, you thought that was it, and then 2003, this comes out. Crimson 2 by Edge of Sanity. This is Dan Swano, basically by himself. He's got some guest guitarists. Mike Weed is on here. And when questioned about it, he said, well, they made an Edge of Sanity album without me, so I don't see why I can't make one without them. Yeah, it's all right. It doesn't stand up to Crimson 1 in my opinion, but so this was the last release from the band. I think then the pettiness ended and there was like, okay, let's enough of that. Edge of Sanity is done. All right. Next up, I'm working on my 2023 list. I thought I would do just a little award in the meantime. My 2023 award for the album that got the most attention from people who claimed not to care about it at all. I'm sure it's not a surprise. It's 72 Seasons by Metallica. I was new to the BC, and I was very frustrated seeing a lot of these videos come out about people spending 10 to 15 to 20 minutes telling you how much they did not care about this album and then continued to not care about it strenuously for that length of time. I don't know what. I suspect it's for clicks. I don't know. This is not sniffing my year end. That's why it's here. It is fine. There's some fun things on it. As usual with modern Metallica, it's way too long. There's some cool songs on it. If I had to give it a score out of 5, it would be like 2 3/4. I mean, it's not amazing or anything. It's not awful, but just the attention it got from people who claim not to care about it, I thought was kind of funny. Usually I say I'm not thinking of a specific video, but I am thinking of one specific video. But in fairness, I saw it in other videos too. Rant. This isn't good. This sucks. Blah, blah, blah. Halfway through. And Overkill came out with a new album the same day. And no one's talking about that. And when I'm watching this video, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Talk about the new Overkill. Nope. Right back to Metallica. Because, sorry, nobody cares about Overkill, I guess. And, they're not getting the clicks. So let's keep ranting about Metallica. I don't know, man. I went through that in 1991. They betrayed me personally. I hated them. They're traitors. They weren't metal. I don't know, man. After like 5 or so years, I was like, what does getting mad at Metallica get for me? If you're really that mad about it, don't talk about them. Don't listen to them. I don't know. For me, this is the band that got me into metal. So they put out an album like every 6 or 7 years. It's not a hardship to drop $10 and check it out. I mean, so I wasn't expecting much. I got what I was expecting. Some of the complaints I heard too was like, oh, Kirk's solos suck. He's been doing the same solos. He sucks as a guitarist. Or Lars's drums suck. Lars sucks as a drummer. They're fucking 60. This is what they are. They're not going to change. So if you don't like it, don't listen to it. I don't know. They can't go back to what they were because they're not those guys anymore. They're not teenagers. You know what album they thought they were going back to? They thought they were going back to their roots and they were going to show everybody that they were the hardest ever. That was Saint Anger. And that was a fucking disaster. So I would rather they just do what they want to do. Yeah. So that's my award for album that got the most unwarranted and maybe disingenuous and bad faith intention of 2023 was Metallica with 72 Seasons. All right. I got some movies to talk about real quick. So music's done. You can click out if you don't care. Watch Satan's Cheerleaders. I just picked this up. Not nearly as sleazy as I kind of wanted or expected. Basically, it starts out kind of like a cheerleader boner comedy for like the first section, and then the school janitor is a Satanist and like wants the cheerleaders, and he tries to like kidnap them, and his little ritual goes wrong, and then they run off into the woods and end up with the sheriff, B.L. Bub. So I wonder what side he's on. And his wife, who is Yvonne DiCarlo, who you may know as Lily Munster. John Carradine also pops up in this. This is one of those where like kind of the older actors kind of on the wane. They paid him some bucks to show up for a few days to kind of get names to put on the poster. But honestly, it wasn't what I was expecting, but it was really fun. It's mostly a comedy. It's not scary. It's not gory. There's a little bit of nudity, not much, but they, it's these cute girls running around in their tight sweaters and short skirts in the woods, and there's some funny moments. And at the end, when they're trying to sacrifice a virgin, it's like all these girls are like, one of the girls is like, "Virgin, I've been a cheerleader for 3 years." So it's that kind of comedy. If that sounds fun to you, check it out. Right. Kind of a complete change of pace. Dr. Sleep. This is a Mike Flanagan movie based on the Stephen King book. So the book is a sequel to The Shining, and Mike Flanagan kind of did the impossible where he made a sequel that was faithful to the book, but also was a kind of a sequel to the movie version of The Shining, which, as most people know, is quite different, and Stephen King kind of hated. And he kind of melded the two. Yeah. I'm a big Mike Flanagan fan. I thought this was awesome. It bombed hard. Nobody cared about it, but I really recommend it. Great performances, and the director's cut is like 3 hours. And I don't think you need to see that one. The regular cut's like 2.5. I think that's fine. But yeah, Dr. Sleep. If you missed out, I would say check it out. And last one. This was $1 pickup. The From Dusk Till Dawn, the series, season 1. Did you wish From Dusk Till Dawn, the movie, was 7.5 hours? Because that's kind of what this is. They do expand. They expand on the mythology of the vampires. They're not like really vampires. They're kind of like demon, like snake demon people. They have like snake fangs, and then if they want to turn somebody, they pump venom into them. So there are different aspects to it, and it does go in different directions. But it's got some cool people in it. Robert Patrick is in it. James Remar, a lot of good character actors. William Sadler. The problem is the two leads that in the movie are George Clooney and Quentin Tarantino. The Tarantino, I watched the first episode when this was on TV, and I was like, fuck this. No, this is like Dollar Store from Dusk Till Dawn, the movie. I gotta say, the guy who plays Richie, the Quentin Tarantino character, he takes it in a different direction and is actually pretty good. The guy who plays Seth, the George Clooney character, it seems like he's doing a George Clooney impression the whole time. Like he's like speaks in the same cadence and the same mannerisms, and when they hit lines from the movie, it's really like, oh no, don't do that. But it's kind of neat. I would not say like spend a bunch of money on this, but it's a decent watch if you're a fan of the movie and want to see it kind of expanded upon. And the girl who plays Santanico Pandemonia, which is the Salma Hayek role in the movie, I'm gonna try to pronounce this. Aiza Gonzalez. Woo boy, she's a hot tamale. So she's fun to look at and does a good job. So yeah, I don't know. I'd give this like a 6, 7 out of 10. Check it out if you're interested. So that'll be it. Oh man, I ran over 10 again. Sorry about that, guys. Thanks as always for watching. I appreciate it. And as always, CM Punk is a piss baby. Later.